In a number of videos we focus on what it takes to be a world-class business, whether that's sales, marketing, gross profit management, working capital management, but we haven't focused on the business owners themselves. What are the traits of the individuals that we work with that run highly successful, privately owned businesses? In this video, I'm going to share with you the 6 traits of a world-class business owner. The first trait of a world-class business owner is they are exceptionally focused. There's often this perception that business owners, entrepreneurs, are highly creative, have hundreds of ideas and different business ventures. But to use an extreme reference point, if we use anything like the Rich List or the Forbes 500 richest people or whoever it is, most people on that list are on that list as a result of doing one thing and doing one thing exceptionally well. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't work with anybody who are on those kind of lists, but we work with people who would be worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you define financial success as your metric of success, clearly those people have achieved success in the business field. You look at the individuals, whether that's Bezos at Amazon, or whether it's Buffett through investing, or Bill Gates through Microsoft. They've all done it through focusing on one thing to reach their goals. The only people I could think of that built their wealth on a variety of different things were Elon Musk and Richard Branson. If there's anyone I've missed, either let me know in the comments or shoot me an email. The key takeaway of this first point is you need to be focused on one thing, and world-class business owners focus on that one thing. It doesn't mean they don't have interests in other areas, but the lion's share of their time goes into that one business venture. Question to ask yourself, how focused are you on your business, and do you get distracted by other ideas? The second trait of a world-class business owner is they don't treat the money in the business like their own. A common trait we see amongst weaker business owners is that they use the money in their business bank account like a personal checking account. These are the things, though, that we see from world-class business owners. Firstly, they pay themselves a fixed wage like anybody else. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to be a wage. It could be taken through another mechanism because they own the business, like a drawings. But the point is, whether it's a weekly or a fortnightly pay amount, it's the exact same like you would any other employee. They pay themselves an appropriate amount on a consistent and regular basis. You might be thinking, well, you just said these people are worth tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. Surely they're not just living off a $200,000 wage and that's it. Well, they have very clear benchmarks, and this is the second part. They have a clear dividend policy around the money they take out of the business. The first thing that has to happen is the business has to achieve a certain benchmark before the owner takes a dividend. That dividend can then be a vast amount of money for the average individual. So you get paid your $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 wage, but depending on the performance of the business, and it's set up in a very structured way that once you go above this dollar value, I get this percentage of the funds goes through as a dividend. You might be wondering, how is that number calculated? Well, it takes into consideration a couple of different things, because remember, these are privately owned businesses. So the people who are making the decision of how much money goes out are also most likely the same people who are going to benefit from the money. So they ask themselves, what do I want to achieve personally financially? Do they want to pay off a mortgage? Do they want to do a house extension? Do they want to achieve something personally financially that a dividend would help? Or do they want to keep the money in the business to reinvest, or a mixture of those two things? In most world-class businesses, you can achieve both. Take money out for personal reasons, but also leave enough to help you achieve your next level business goals. A question to ask yourself, how structured and disciplined are you around using the money within your business? The third trait of a world-class business owner is they have action-orientated goals. What do I mean by this? Well, they don't have highly detailed business plans that are 40, 50, even a dozen pages long. They keep things very, very simple. Have you heard of SOAP? S for strategy, O for on, A for and P for page. SOAP, if you can't fit your strategy on a single page, It is too complex. The core principle of it is quite simple. What are we aiming to achieve? Who are we going to target? And what are we going to do differently from what we currently do? And because of the first trait we spoke about around being laser focused, that is all they focus on. They focus on that strategy on a page. What are we going to achieve over the next 12 months, over the next 3 years? A question to ask yourself: could you succinctly tell any person on your team or an advisor within 20 seconds what you want to achieve in the next 12 months or 3 years? The fourth trait of a world-class business owner is they're exceptionally detail-orientated. I get nervous when I work with business owners and business leaders who don't know the details of their business. You might be thinking to yourself, how can I be worth tens or hundreds of millions of dollars but still know the detail within my business? The kinds of details I'm talking about are gross profit on a certain project, or how they're going on a product range, what are their best performing regions or stores or salespeople, the kind of detail you wouldn't necessarily expect somebody at that level to know. But they make it their job to know. The phrase that I love, and world-class business owners follow this philosophy, is to know everything and do nothing. The way you do that is to build a team around you who get the detail. You know the right questions to ask, and those individuals can share the information that you need to know around performance in the respective areas of your business, whether that's marketing, sales, operations, the people within the business, but they know that level of detail in a scary way. Ask yourself, would you know what the best performing parts of your business? Who are the best performing individuals? You don't need to know every person in the business, but you need to know all the detail. The fifth trait of a world-class business owner is they build a great team around them. They realize that they can't do it all themselves. So they find elite performers in different areas of business, whether that's sales, marketing, finance, operations, product development, HR. They get those people in place and they use the strategy on the page that we spoke about as number 3 and get everyone rowing in the same direction. They share the goal of the business and leave them to execute, while still providing oversight and insight. They provide oversight by being across the detail, and they provide insight to these department leaders on things that they know regarding the business, the industry, and the general direction they believe we should go, while still allowing them to bring their own creativity and their own knowledge to the table to help the business achieve its strategic goals. Question to ask yourself: are you in the journey of building a great team around you? Do you keep everything close into you? Do you have people who are capable of helping you get your business to where you want it to go? The sixth and final trait of a world-class business owner is they are respected by their team. You notice I didn't use the word liked. I would say in my experience of working with world-class business owners, the reality is they are respected and they are well liked by the people that work with them. But the key element though is the respect. You don't need me to talk about how to create respect. The most important part, it is there from your team. Question to ask yourself: how do you think your team really feel about you as an individual? And how do you carry yourself within your team? They're the 6 traits of world-class business owners. Number 1, they're laser focused. Number 2, they don't treat the money in the bank account like it's their own. They have action-orientated goals. They are very details-orientated. They build a great team around them. And lastly, they're respected by their team.